So, what are some of the challenges that you as a day trader face when it comes to the market, especially the futures? Regardless if you trade, say, for example, the Nasdaq E-mini or the Nasdaq Micro futures, um, there are probably obstacles that you may have faced or will face sometime in the near future. And you may have, several setbacks like I did. And today I'm going to just kind of share with you, just over my career in trading futures, what it actually was that held me back from trading and being able to see the bigger picture and putting myself in position to fulfill a dream of mine, which was trading futures full time. Okay, so this is a full time job for me. Again, I've had challenges, especially the first 2 years when I first started, because I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. My struggle with trading was absolutely not understanding how to read the charts, the markets the correct way. Once you know how to read one particular market, whether it's crude oil or the ES futures, you should be able to basically open up any chart, no matter the chart style that it may be, whether it's a time frame chart or tick chart or volume chart. Those issues should no longer be a challenge for you. That's where I talk about mastering one key concept all the time, which is market structure. Okay. So my first 2 years into my career of actually trading full time, well, prior to trading full time, I was just trading a simple strategy, and it did surround supply and demand. But even at that time, my first 2 years, I wasn't really trading supply and demand full on. Until later on that I figured out that I was just looking for pullbacks to, swing levels to where the market was. If we were moving to the upside in the market, each time it broke a swing, I was looking for a pullback to that key area swing. And then sometimes I would take, break and retest type setups. So I was kind of, not saying all over the place, but I didn't have a 100% strategy that was effective or, that I could be consistent with making money. I was making a little bit here, losing a little bit there. So it was kind of a up and down roller coaster, seesaw effect, to where each week I would not say so much be drawn into my account to where I was going to, be in jeopardy of blowing my actual account, because I only had a very limited amount of funds to trade with. And so anytime the market would start to pull back, just like most new traders or beginner traders in this business, you would jump out of a trade, right? Just to not lose any more money, because you know that you don't have much to lose. So I wish, and looking back in hindsight, I wish that when I first started trading, they had the micros. And that's why I recommend anyone who is a beginner trader out there who's interested in trading one of the future markets like the NASDAQ or, the ES or crude oil or gold, there are micro instruments or contracts that you can trade other than the full-on E-mini futures. Okay, so that was my setback, was not being able to read the market like I needed to. Because if you do not understand how to read the market, I referenced this in the past. If you could pick a book up and read chapter after chapter and follow the flow of the market, the storyline, okay, and understand what's going on in the book, you should be able to do the same thing when it comes to the charts. I know it's a little bit different, but I'm kind of using that as an analogy because the market is only really technically moving in three directions. And most times too, it's making higher highs and higher lows, or making lower lows and lower highs, or it may be in a bit of consolidation, which consolidation could be good because at some point it's going to break out of that area and either move to the upside or break to the downside. So just being able to see overall what's going on in the market, like the last few days or, days in the market, trading the NASDAQ here, you can see we're making lower lows and lower highs, right? You should be able to see that using a higher base chart. Now, I'm going to say this. When you start using lower base charts, it's going to get very, very choppy. It's going to be a lot of noise. So find you a good, solid chart that you can trade from. And that's why I trade using the 120 range, not directly from it, but I use that as my guidance or a tool to let me know which way I need to be looking to trade. It tells me overall what the market is doing, so I can look out further versus being so, tunnel vision of what's going on and being so narrow-minded on the lower base chart, because the lower base chart would chop you out, okay? And you don't want to be trading just from one specific chart. That was another thing I was doing in the past, was just looking to take trades using one chart primarily. without really bringing everything into the fold. All right. When I very started trading, before I even started making video content, when I was learning myself, I was just looking at, one chart. I would have, another chart up, of course, but I was looking at a lower time frame chart and just, hey, the market looks like it's making, it's pushing to the upside. And most of my trades, I would say that I was chasing the market, because I primarily would wait for pullbacks, but I wasn't taking the best opportune setups because I wasn't looking further out to see what the market was doing. When the lower base chart may have been pushing to the downside and the higher base chart was still bullish and we're moving lower and showing a bearish direction on the lower base chart, I'm moving against the grain. So it wasn't until, sometime later where I really started to, have a better and understanding of market structure, meaning being able to read overall what's going on the higher base chart. I look at structure on both the higher and lower base chart, but the higher base chart is what carries more weight. Definitely so. So that's why I always talk about try not to trade against the grain. If you're looking at a lower base chart and get ready to scalp off of that, you don't want to be trading short when you're in when you're in a bullish market, right? Because you're going to get stopped out. You may get lucky a few times, but try your best to trade overall in what's going on the higher base chart. So if we're bullish to the upside, like we've been since last Friday, you can see it here, the market pivoted, turned around. I talked about this in the last video, breaking structure above, making higher highs and higher lows. And as long as we're doing that, we should be looking for key pullbacks to key areas of demand because we're bullish, right? Now, here's where the market starts to get a little bit rocky for most people, is because then the market, you have a low here that it has made, right? And now it's coming off of a high that it just made here. So you're in between a leg, okay? The biggest piece of advice, other than master market structure, I can tell people to do is that when you are in between something, try not to trade in the middle of it, okay? But in this case, like for example, if we have a major low here and the market starts making a high and a higher low, this is your first signal, first indication that they're getting ready to probably either go higher or go lower. If they made a higher low and don't take out this low, after breaking some structure to the left-hand side of the chart, meaning they're taking out areas where sellers were selling, and now they're breaking higher, making a higher low, and now we're breaking structure above the most recent high that it's made, which was the major high coming off this low. Now we're still making these higher highs and higher lows. You want to be trading in the direction of this now that we're bullish. Now, if we start to turn, of course, on a leg or inside of a leg, you're going to have minor areas of structure, like right here, right here, right here, and right here, right? So if we start making and taking out these lows or these minor structure lows, then yeah, you can look for pullback to go short. And this is where, it kind of gets, say, a little bit gray in a sense, because where you're in between a leg of a high and a low, and we start breaking back down after breaking back up, now you're saying, okay, well, we're just bullish to the upside. Now we're back bearish, right? But we can turn back around and start pushing back up and start taking structure back out to the upside, right? And then be bullish again. That's the thing about trading in between a leg, because you're in between a high and a low. And most times we want to wait to see, okay, is it going to take out this major high here, or is it going to run this major low here at the bottom? But if you know how to trade, again, the market can only move primarily 3 different ways, and in most instances, just 2. Moving to the upside or moving to the downside, but we're in between something here. So you got to understand that there could be some motion to where now we start to break structure lower, look for pullbacks to go short. If we start back around here, for example, I'll show you, and the market starts making higher highs and higher lows, and we break structure, above some significant area of structure, then we can look for pullbacks to go what? To a key area of maybe demand down here to go long. And this is your major high, so be mindful of that, because the market could turn back around after tapping or hitting some area of demand, come back and test this high right here, and then reject it and maybe get a pullback, and then want to break it to the upside. So you have to really be able to concretely understand and master market structure and be able to read what's going on, and not just master market structure or conquer that, but also be able to read price action, because that's what's important. Those were the challenges that I faced when I started. I thought I knew how to read the market, and it wasn't until 2 years later that I still figured out, where I was almost on the verge of kind of just walking away and quitting. It wasn't because I lost a bunch of money. It was because I struggled in being able to read the markets, okay, and read the charts. Do I get it right 100% of the time? No one does, okay? But that's where the whole trade management piece comes in, and being able to get out of a trade quick enough. But mastering this one concept was what allowed me to realize that, okay, it brought me to a level of consistency, which brought me to a level of profitability, which helped me become even more of a patient person when in trading. I'm gonna be honest with you. Trading has molded or changed my life altogether in ways that I didn't even see it coming, because it will help you discover things about yourself that you never knew what type of person you were. I wasn't an impatient person, but I was, like most traders, always looking for a setup and trying to be in the markets at all times. But it helped me become more of a patient person, not only in my professional or in my career as a trader, but also it helped me in my own personal life as well, okay? Because now I'm able to sit back and instead of, acting upon things quick enough, I'll sit back and kind of more so logically think through things, all right? But it also helps tap into other areas that you may struggle with. If you're someone that's facing, greed or because you just, you want to make as much as you can, the sky's the limit. Look, I tell people this all the time. Don't be greedy in these markets. If you got a solid trade on your first trade, be done. Okay, you could do it again tomorrow. It's all about compounding and building an account which you can withdraw from. All right, not going in for $10,000 a day. All right, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing that, but I'm saying that if you are staying in the market, one trade after another trade after another trade with a goal to make $10,000 a day, just think how realistic that's going to be. If you could get that on one trade, then shut it down. Okay. All right, I'm not saying that you're reaching for a goal of $10,000 a day. Everybody should have a goal that they may be trying to make $200 a day and build it up from maybe there, or $100 a day and maybe build up from there and say, okay, now I'm at $200 a day. All right, within the next year, I want to up it and start making about $500 a day. Achieve or set goals for yourself, moving forward. But once you're on that path, you'll start to see where the consistency will start showing you it'll start showing your bank account or in your brokerage account, to where you'll start to see that, okay, these setbacks that I once had, these challenges, I'm able to overcome them now, and I see that I'm now profitable from a week to week to a month to month standpoint, and everybody's learning curve is going to be different, and everybody's success rate is going to be different. So don't rush and try to do it all in one day's time, because it's not going to happen. All right, it took me 2 years. But it was all because I didn't understand one thing. And it was that one thing that, honestly, no one showed me. I had to do a lot of research and going online and start to see that. I started hearing and looking online about market structure and about, being able to read the flow of the market. It's like, it's just order flow in real time, being able to see what's going on. All right. To me, it's like playing a game of chess. I can see what the opponent is doing, which is, the banks, institutions, the market makers, what they're doing, but I know I don't need to be going against them. I know I need to be trading with them. I don't want to get railroaded, right? So just going back to look at the market today overall, if I'm looking at structure and I see from Friday that we're making higher highs and higher lows, and then at this point right here, we start to push to the downside, right? Okay, I'm just giving you an overall view of why I took a short on the NASDAQ today. And I'm going to cover that trade in great detail to those who are our Elite Channel supporters, and you guys already know who you are. If you want to become an Elite Channel supporter where you receive trade breakdown at the breakdown at the breakdown, there are tons of those videos already on made available to that private community. The link is down in the description portion of the video. It's only $6.99 a month. You get, this is where I go into detail about the setups, talking about structure, stop loss placement, profit target, why I took those trades, and there's tons of those videos that will help you or should help you out as a trader that's someone interested in understanding the future markets. Okay, so again, the link is down below. It's the second link, right below the Discord link. Discord is free. The second link, when you click on that, Elite Channel Supporter, 2 tiers are going to pop up. Make sure to choose that second tier for $6.99. And then you're going to get access to all those trade breakdown videos. And there's nothing like having a real-time bird-eyes view of understanding and being able to see and someone walking you through the setups. It's as if you're sitting right next to them. So that's right. That's the purpose and reason why I make those videos. But getting back here to the charts, I'm able to restructure now, and it's easier today than it has ever been, and I constantly, every single day, educate and become better at doing so. So when I saw the market in between this major low and this high right here, and then we start pushing lower, and we break structure right here, look, we went back from bullish back to bearish now because we're breaking through an area of structure right here. So I'm just looking for a key pullback to a key area of supply, which is right here, and this is a high probability setup as well. A little small, break a structure right to the downside, coming down. All right. And as it's coming down, the market takes our structure right here. This is a pullback to a key area of supply right here. All right. And you can see what's going on here. They did not want to break above this area. Once they came up to it, twice they came up to it, 3 times they came up to it. All right. And being now that they come down and break structure right here, okay, there's a low resting right here. When they reject an area that they're not interested in going, they're almost gonna, you can almost bet they're gonna come down here and take out this low right here. Now, where would they stop at? Coming down now and look at the market, they may want to come down and probably test this low that they may. I'm sorry, maybe down here in this area here where they originally started pushing back to the upside right here, as you can see. So this is the low, this is that high right there. This is the higher low they made. This is where they broke structure, start coming back down. Now they're making lows, lower highs, and breaking structure lower. So if they pull back without starting to really break structure back to the upside, maybe we could look for an opportunity to continue taking the short direction, right? So right now you're kind of in a wedge, okay? But when I see things like where they are in between something and then they start to break down and take out structure coming back down, I'm going to go short when I see a nice pullback, as long as they're not taking structure back out to the upside. And I'm mindful that this is the high where they can stop at. This is the low where they can stop at down here. So they may want to come back, finish coming back down and filling in some gaps, maybe taking out some areas of liquidity that they may create on the downside. Even let's see, right here, they came down, tested this low right here, they pulled back, but this is like a break and retest. They push down, pull back, push lower, break, came back to this area here, and then broke lower, right? So now they may want to come down and finish filling these gaps in right here, but they may come back up here first, maybe tap this area here, or come back this area here, and then come back down and finish filling the remaining portion of these gaps. Don't know. We'll see what happens, all right? But if they start re-breaking structure back to the upside and taking out areas, then maybe now we're going back from bearish to bullish now, because we're in a wedge, and that's where things kind of get gray, because you can flip from being bearish back to bullish real quick. But just be mindful of your high and your low positioning where you're at on a leg, because these are going to be the major stopping points that they're going to stop at before they actually, make a move to break either structure to going to the upside, continuing or breaking back lower here. But this is a major pullback before figuring out what's next. Now we're in the middle of this leg right here. All right. So that's what I'm looking at when I saw going on in the market today. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. The challenge of being able to now overcome market structure and understanding how to read the market has truly helped turn my trading career completely around to where now I'm on a profitable sailing course to where I can make money every day. Hopefully that makes sense, right? But again, I'm going to break the trade that I took on the NASDAQ down, because I know most of you trade the NASDAQ. Some of you trade the ES as well. But today I took a trade going short up in here. So I appreciate everyone that tunes in and watches the videos. Hopefully what I've shared with you today, maybe something that someone else is trying to figure out. Maybe they're struggling with. Maybe they have a strategy, and that could be you that's working real fine. But until you master how to read these markets the correct way and know which direction to actually trade in, you're going to be facing an uphill battle. So please start with a naked chart, and all you're doing is looking at the structure of the market, being able to read that. Once you've mastered that, and you already got a golden strategy or a good strategy, and if you don't have a strategy, take a look at the strategy that I talk about so much in the videos here. It's pretty simplistic, nothing complex behind it. All you were looking for is multi-chart confluence, where we have a higher base zone that we mark up, whether it's for example, I trade range-based chart. So off the 120 range chart, I'll mark up, say this was a supply zone. I'll mark that up, and then I'll move down to a lower base chart to look for a smaller 24 range, because that's my execution chart, zone resting on the larger or inside of the larger 120. So it's a zone within a zone approach is all it is. That's just the confluence I'm looking for, okay? That will give you more confirmation to want to go short. That's all it boils down to be, okay? And not all times will it tap 100% inside of the zone or a zone where a smaller zone may be located on the inside. So from that point there, then I have to wait for, because we're bearish now after breaking structure here, slightly, a minor structure break, then I'll need to start looking for an opportunity where the 24 range is starting to show me some bearish direction, so I can follow suit in the direction of what's going on the higher base chart. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? But in the videos, guys, I'm telling you that this is where I really harp on the strategy in itself. So again, that's why the trade breakdowns work. And if you want to become an elite member, the link is down below. But outside of that, I appreciate everyone that takes the time daily to watch the video content. And if you're not a subscriber, please take the time to go ahead and subscribe to the channel by clicking that sub button. Make sure to turn your post notifications on so you don't miss any of the uploaded content that I post on pretty much almost on a daily basis, I should say, almost. Okay. And if you do me the biggest favor, I definitely appreciate it. Click the like button. If I share something with you today that maybe gave you some inspiration, that showed you something new, that was hitting on a topic that maybe you were waiting to hear, that just kind of, steered you in the right direction and say, hey, that's what I'm struggling with too. I need to master that just as well, market structure. All right. Appreciate it. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you in the next video.